Off-the-beaten-path veggies, reliable fish, and good old hunks of meat are just some of the canned treasures that can take your scrambled eggs to the next level. Peas almost certainly aren't something that most of us associate with scrambled eggs, but there are plenty of recipes out there extolling the wonders of this humble veggie. You can certainly use the fresh or frozen ones, but since canned peas are already soft and sweet, they're the easiest option when you want to whip up eggs that are quick and delicious. As far as what you should pair with this unexpected yet yummy flavour duo, we think a bit of cheese does the job quite well. Start by draining the peas well. Add a bit of butter to the skillet along with shallots or some white onion. Sauté this mixture until the shallots or onions become fragrant and translucent. Stir up the eggs and make sure that they are well seasoned before adding them to the pan. Then go ahead and add the peas along with the eggs and your soft cheese. Cook until the eggs are just beginning to set, and now you're all ready to go. Tuna in eggs isn't going to strike everyone's fancy, but if you don't mind this classic fish's distinctive flavour, then this might just be the upgrade you need to make you excited to wake up for breakfast again. It's pretty simple to get this combo just right. We recommend first sautéing a handful of red onions, making sure that they become fragrant before adding them into the tuna. Cook the two together for a few minutes to allow the onion to impart flavour to the tuna. Then pour a couple of whisked salted eggs over the tuna and onion mixture, and add a bit of cracked black pepper to taste. The results are wonderfully filling and savoury. Canned corn might sound a little bit odd to pair with eggs, but they're actually quite a nice touch. This is especially true if you already love adding corn to pretty much everything. It certainly helps that there are so many varieties of canned corn that it's possible to change the flavour of your eggs depending on which variety you choose. Throw in a bit of butter and cheese and you'll probably be stunned at just how good eggs with corn can be. The kind of cheese you choose to pair with your corn-infused scrambled eggs is completely up to you, but we'd recommend trying some goat's cheese. If that sounds a bit too out there for you, try replacing it with feta for a somewhat similar flavour profile. If you're a Tex-Mex fan, adding the right combination of black beans to eggs can be a surprisingly tasty way to serve up what feels like a gourmet breakfast for less. We'll admit that this idea might not sound terribly delicious, even if you absolutely love beans. But if you add flavours that naturally go with black beans, like Mexican cheese, green onions, diced tomatoes and green chilies, then they should make for a surprisingly yummy addition. To get started, you'll want to cook the eggs in a skillet, preferably with a bit of butter for extra flavour. Just before the eggs are set, add some well-rinsed and drained beans to the mixture. Give it a toss and continue cooking until the eggs are completely set. Sprinkle with cheese and green onions for garnish, and now you've got a colourfully festive breakfast to dig into. You might not have ever considered using canned chicken in eggs, or any sort of chicken for that matter. Other meats like bacon or sausage are much more customary after all. Chicken lends a different texture as well as a lighter flavour than your typical breakfast meats. Overall, it's a very feasible and altogether tasty option. While canned chicken may sometimes come out a bit bland, you can always add a little salt, pepper and garlic to it to jazz things up a bit. Once your eggs are almost set, go ahead and throw in the poultry. Remember that chicken pairs well with a variety of mix-ins, including beans and jalapeños. Top your creation with your favourite cheese and we're certain you'll love the outcome.
You're just a little chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
Believe it or not, you can try adding canned chicken broth or any type of broth to your eggs for a unique umami flavour. This won't be everyone's cup of tea, but if you have the right palate for it, then it's definitely worth a try. We'd recommend adding a little butter along with cheese to start things off. Some home cooks might also like to add interesting spices like smoked paprika to the mix, but we'll leave that up to you. As always, feel free to throw in a few mix-ins of your choice to fit the eggs to your taste. The broth just serves as a liquid to impart subtle flavour and help with texture, much in the same way that milk or cream does. It may be a little unconventional, but we think that adding a little canned broth to eggs really imparts something uniquely flavourful. If you've never had the pleasure, then you might think that eating spam with eggs is the weirdest idea imaginable. But there are plenty of people who are accustomed to having this Hormel's signature canned creation for breakfast, and we think you should give it a try as well.
I'll have your spam, I love it!
You definitely don't have to overthink the toppings to get the flavour to work out. Just throw the spam in the eggs, cook it up, and there you have it, an easy breakfast fit for a king. If you want to get a little fancier, you could easily throw in a few toppings of your choice, like onions or peppers, or maybe take inspiration from the culinary tastes of Hawaii and pair it with some rice. Similar to tuna and chicken, canned salmon is another quick, easy, and filling way to spruce up your eggs a bit. It may even feel like a fancier option compared to the other meats out there. Even so, it's a relatively inexpensive and simple way to elevate your breakfast, and it can be used along with a variety of toppings for a perfectly nutritious wake-up. If you're feeling particularly health-conscious, you can try mixing your salmon with egg whites along with a bit of cooked kale. Dill can also be a flavourful addition, along with a bit of minced garlic and Greek yogurt as a topping to finish it all off. Overall, salmon is a terrific way to add a little extra oomph to your breakfast scramble, so give it a go and see what you think. If you already love artichokes, you'll probably dig throwing them into your eggs, although this upgrade definitely won't suit every craving. But if you are indeed a fan, then throwing a can of artichokes into the scramble along with a variety of complementary cheeses and spices will really help tie everything together. To get started, consider adding a pinch of pepper and nutmeg to the egg mixture, along with a bit of fresh basil. Cut the artichokes into quarters, add them to a second bowl, and mix them in with a hodgepodge of delicious cheeses. Once the eggs are about set, go ahead and add this artichoke cheese mixture and gently stir in. Continue cooking until completely set. It may be different from what you're used to, but for true blue artichoke fans, it's definitely worth experimenting. Adding olives to your eggs is another unexpected treat that can offer a bit of a Mediterranean vibe. Consider pairing the olives with plump tomatoes, parsley, oregano, and green onions, and then topping it all off with feta cheese. It's sure to provide a fresh and distinct flavour that'll have you begging for more. You can choose to cook the olives in the eggs themselves or wait to sprinkle them on top afterwards. Either way, your olives should add a pop of distinct flavour that's bright, salty, and unexpected. So, if you're tired of the same humdrum additions, then it's time to whip out those olives. The secret to fluffy and delicious scrambled eggs may very well be canned evaporated milk. While this upgrade may sound relatively bland and straightforward when compared to other options, it can actually provide a delicious base for some of the fancier scrambled egg additions to make everything taste that much better. Aim to use about a quarter cup of milk for half a dozen eggs to get the right flavour and consistency. You'll want to add about a quarter teaspoon of salt and a dash of pepper if you want a little added zest. Don't forget to add a couple of tablespoons of your favourite cheese dip if you're into that sort of thing. Cook up your eggs the way you normally would, and now you're ready to go. If you want to add a vinegary punch to your scrambled eggs but don't want to invest too much effort, then canned jalapeños just might be exactly what you're looking for. This option requires little to no effort. It's inexpensive and it can be adjusted according to your palate. Start by selecting the type of jalapeños you want to use, whether that be hot, medium, or mild. Then drain what's in the can and set it aside. Sauté some onions in oil to get even more flavour and then add in your salted eggs. Once the scramble is about halfway through cooking, add the jalapeños and cook until the eggs are set. Top with Mexican cheddar or Monterey cheese if you want, but you could also serve without cheese and still reap the benefits of the spicy flavour.
Spicy!
You might already know this, but in case you don't, potatoes taste awesome in eggs. When you don't have freshly cooked spuds or hash browns lying around, the canned variety is a perfectly viable option. Sure, it won't have anywhere near the flavour as a home-cooked version, but that's what seasoning is for. To make your canned potatoes taste as flavourful as possible, consider adding a little salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika. Onion powder and Italian seasoning are other decent options. Once seasoned, add the potatoes to your egg mixture, but be sure not to add them too early as it may all turn to mush. Wait until your eggs are about 50% cooked to add the potatoes. Also, be sure to drain any liquid that the potatoes are sitting in ahead of time to get rid of any icky starches. Once it's all cooked, top with bacon, sausage, or cheese, or just enjoy as is. By adding green chilies to your scrambled eggs, you can impart a subtle kick to your breakfast without overwhelming your palate. The key is to keep the other ingredients minimal if you really want that chili flavour to shine. You can also vary the amount of chilies you use, as the ratio of chilies to eggs will affect the final flavour. To make scrambled eggs with green chilies, you'll first want to heat the pan with a little oil. Add some minced onions if you wish, and cook until the onions have softened. Once soft, drain the chilies and add them to the onion mixture. Whisk the eggs with any seasonings and pour over the chilies and onion, then cook until set. Top with any cheese you like, and now you've got a uniquely delicious, simple breakfast. Canned tomatoes imbue a bright and tangy flavour to scrambled eggs that can't be matched by anything else. This isn't exactly a new idea, as there are plenty of recipes that utilise the delicious flavour of freshly diced tomatoes to create a colourful combination for breakfast, but it's still definitely worth emphasising. Opting for canned tomatoes versus the fresh variety eliminates the hassle of breaking out the knife board and finally dicing them. So pick up a can of your favourite brand, drain out the juice, and cook them in a pan alongside any onions or peppers until all the liquid has evaporated. Then add some freshly whisked and salted eggs and cook them until they're set. Add a dash of seasoning and enjoy!